Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be how to become the man of her dreams. So I've got an email success story here, and this is from a guy in Europe. I think he's over in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. And so when he first found my work about 3-4 years ago, he was in a relationship with a very toxic woman. And then he came across my videos, and eventually that helped him move on. And so he started applying what he was learning in 3% Man, as well as mastering yourself, started getting great results. And he shares how the love story came about with his current girlfriend. They've been together for 2 years, talks about the night, how they met, their first date, how things progressed. So it's a great way to end the week with another really good success story. So I got a quote that I wrote, and then we'll go through his email and see what he did to turn his life around. The quote says, "To become your most attractive self, you must create a life and lifestyle that makes it easy for you to be happy, smile, and find lots of easy ways to laugh, have fun, learn something, and enjoy the gift of your life. Everyone loves being around happy, attractive, and fun people who are living life to the fullest. Don't look for someone to complete you or make you happy. Become the kind of person who is in great shape, happy being single, having fun by themselves, and open to the possibility of finding someone special to share their completeness with. You can't give away what you don't already have for yourself." Something to think about. So if you're sad, you're lonely, you had a breakup, you want to find somebody new, the most important thing is you got to get back to a place where you really like being alone, you like being single, and you're having a blast by yourself. Because if you can have fun by yourself, and then you find a cool girl who's got her shit together, you can double your pleasure. Just like, wasn't the old Double Mint? Remember the Double Mint commercials? Probably the older people like myself will remember the Double Mint. Double your pleasure. It was a stick of gum. Cracks me up. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hi, Coach. I just wanted to say thanks for your videos and inspiration. Your videos and free ebooks were super beneficial for me in difficult times. I think in terms of looks, I'm a 4 out of 10 in winter and a 5 out of 10 when I'm prepped and lean down to my body for summer, but none of that is important at all." Well, when you talk to enough different women and you ask enough different women what's the thing they like most in a guy, almost always the first thing is confidence. Looks are second or third or fourth down the list. It's always the confidence, the certainty, being assertive and sure of yourself, who you are, what you want, going for it, and making it happen. Despite the haters, despite the failures, despite the setbacks, you just keep grinding on and looking for a way to learn and have fun. Even James Bond has a stained suit every now and then, and that won't change the fact that he's still 007. Very true. He says, "Here's my story. I was never successful with women when I was younger until I was around 22. I then met my ex, who was a redhead American." Yes, I've dated some redheaded Americans. Very, very fun girls. "Was in a toxic relationship for about, but they can also be, what's the word? Bitchy, passionate, incredible in the bedroom, but also can be difficult." It's just interesting, different types of women, different types of backgrounds, or if you've dated a Latin or especially like a Brazilian type of woman. It's just so interesting, different cultures, how it affects women, different traits, if you will. But I personally like redheads. I had one of the great loves of my life is a redhead, and some of the best times I ever had were with her. So great memories. That's what's beautiful. As you get older, you can look back on all the cool memories that you acquired throughout your life. It gives meaning. You're like, I've lived a damn good life. I got no complaints. So he says, "I was in a toxic relationship for about 1.5 years until I tried changing something and came across your videos. She was the type of woman to always complain about injustice differences in sexes, was intermasculine a lot, was needy, and craving attention in a long distance relationship. Really tiring stuff. It's just the differences in the sex. It sounds like she was a leftist. It sounds like she got hypnotized by the commie propaganda, the grievance feminist commie propaganda, the divide and conquer propaganda that's running rampant in our Western societies. It's dividing people and make everybody hate each other, and it just gets regurgitated relentlessly by the media. But I digress. He says, long story short, I broke up with her a few months down the road in 2018 once I saw my grind and trying to better myself didn't bear the same fruits in her. Well, you need somebody that's an equal. You don't want to push the wet noodle. If you're a guy that's into eating healthy and taking care of yourself or working out, and then you date a woman who looks good but is into none of that stuff, and she's constantly complaining about it and making fun of you about it, that's the wrong woman. I've dated women that are like that. And when you have somebody like that in your inner circle, you basically have a mutiny on your hands. And you spend enough time around somebody like that, you're going to start to question yourself. And then before you know it, a couple months have gone by, you haven't been to the gym, your pants are a little tighter, you're not eating as healthy, you're getting sick, you're getting colds again. It's a bad way to go. Whoever you choose for your intimate partner has to support what you do. And if they don't, they're wrong and they need to be gone from your inner circle as quickly as possible. He says, then I used your tips to really date a bunch and got laid a lot, started earning good money, and moved across Germany a couple of times. So he broke up with her in 2018. He says, I got to know my now girlfriend at a friend's gathering. They were all beautiful young Russian ladies having some drinks. Oh, but that was a bummer, huh? I walked in. What I like about Russian women, they're very confident and they're very strong-minded and very strong-willed and they're very opinionated. I like that. And they're usually pretty hot in shape. And plus the accent, it's like, that's pretty sexy. I walked in and had this great energy and confidence. Two of them immediately came on to me. That's another thing. It's anytime you can as a man, put yourself in a situation where you're basically outnumbered, where you're the minority and there's majority women there, good things happen. Because like the late, great Doc Love used to say, when kitty cats compete, you win. So true. He says, two of them immediately came on to me, kept me busy with funny and interesting conversation the entire night. Russian women are very interesting. They like to talk a lot, and they have an interesting perspective, especially when they grew up in Russia. He says, it was like they were fighting over my attention. Yep. So anytime, like I said, you can set it up to where you're like one dude in a circle of 10 women, good things happen. Even if you're just an average guy, you become a lot more attractive because you're the only dude there. I was just trying to hang out and catch up with an old guy friend of mine from university. As I was being flirty with women generally, I did end up kissing my now girlfriend at the end of the night without putting in any effort because she had super high attraction from the beginning. Well, like I talk about in 3% Man, Adam Carolla had a quote that I thought was amazing. He says, when a woman likes you, the door's open and all you have to do is walk through it. And if the doors start slamming in your face, then you just walk away. And obviously in this case, she made it very easy because she liked him. And that's what you're looking for, somebody that's easy and effortless to be around and be with. And it very rarely happens. And that's why it's worth the wait. Too many people settle for somebody that's mediocre because they get sick of being single and sick of holding out and sick of waiting, especially when they're dating a lot and years have gone by and nobody's come by that they really click with. They start getting desperate. They get peer pressure from friends, family. When am I going to get grandkids? That kind of stuff. So that's why it's so important to know what you want and why you want it and live your life from a place of you're doing what makes you happy. You have to have your own reasons, your own motivations. As I was going to leave the city the next evening, I made plans with her on short notice. He says, sorry, my only non-textbook move, but the attraction was high enough and I knew I had a packed schedule the next few weeks. Well, like I talked about in 3% Man, when I met my English girlfriend, we were at an event. I think it was like a 8 or 10 day event, the Date with Destiny event, Tony Robbins. It's not like I was going to get her number and call her in a week or whatever. We were there. So I literally met her, made a date on the spot. The next night we had a date on the spot, and then we were pretty much always together after that. And when you know what you're doing, the love story just evolves. She likes you, you like her, and you just simply don't talk her out of liking you. And it just comes together effortlessly. It's beautiful when it works like that. But it's worth the wait. And those kinds of memories and those kinds of intense feelings you take with you for the rest of your life. What a gift. He says, I went to meet her for coffee around 3 p.m. and didn't come back until around 10 in the evening. The other thing, the stuff that's in 3%, man, it's not etched in stone. These are not ironclad rules that you can't bend any of them. The idea is it gives you enough sensory acuity so you can read and tell where the woman is at, how she's feeling about you in the moment, so you can respond appropriately. He says, we walked around, changed location a bunch, had great food, great conversation, hung out, had fun, and hooked up. Notice the hooking up came at the very end. She was extremely invested in me from the get-go, and I had the easiest and most fun times ever. Women make it easy when they like you. That's what you want. Why struggle? Life's hard enough already. Last thing you want to do is be with a chick that's just a pain in the ass, and there's lots of them out there. The next weekend, I made her come to my city, then rinse and repeat. The third date, I took her out to a nice romantic Airbnb on a lake, and we fucked the entire night. I'm sure you suffered through that evening. It's really tough for you, I bet. Move forward a bit. I passed all her tests. I was aware of her attraction levels the entire time and gave her a bit of a hard time every now and then, trying to wrap her hands around me. And I was continuing to date other women. We banged about 3 to 5 times every time, 3 to 5 times a day every time we saw each other. She even made a game out of seeing how many times she could make me come in 24 hours. We were both impressed. Impressive. Most impressive. What a great game. What a great game to come up with. Love is playful and fun. It's not serious. Even when you're being naughty together. That's a naughty game that would make your parents blush if they knew what you were doing. She was and still is a 10 in terms of how attracted she is to me, and a 10 in terms of her hotness in my eyes. We went on a week of holidays after like 7 dates, drove around in an old VW bus through the Alps, and I was on cloud 9 nonstop. She let me plan everything and surprise her with so many things while she just sat back and let me be the man. Literally told her what kind of clothes to pack and nothing else. She was cool with it. She was unaware I had rented a camper van and no clue where we were going. Well, it's your job to drive the fun bus after all, and women like mystery. They like discovering things as they happen instead of planning it all out. Planning it all out is boring. There's no mystery in it. There's nothing to figure out. Women are like cats. They're curious. Do something that makes them curious. I had never experienced that kind of loving submission and loved every second of it. Well, bro, it's your birthright. It's the way it's supposed to be. This is what makes life really fun and worth living, is having somebody awesome to share it with who's easy and effortless. And it's not just your intimate relationship. You want to have this kind of relationship with your friends as well, where you guys just get along, and when you're like, hey, let's go grab some beers or let's go to a game or whatever it happens to be, and you're like, hell yeah. And you just have a blast. She then went on and wanted to have a relationship, so I enabled it after around 8 to 9 weeks of dating. Nothing was too fast, nothing too slow. Everything was organic and easy going. Like Rumi said, slow and steady, like the river that never grows stale. No hurry, no rush. The holidays we shared were a great way for me to confirm she was real. She's crazy for me, is feminine, is an alpha female who enjoys sex, likes pleasing me, has a great job in strategy consulting, works out, has a positive outlook on life, enjoys my protection and stoicism, and generally just lets me handle it all. That's pretty awesome because some women that are alpha females, they end up fighting you or trying to fight you for control and trying to run things. So that's why it's so important to be in your masculine and find a woman who's an alpha, but she's balanced. It means typically she had a good dad that taught her how to go for her dreams and get the things she wanted, but also with the right guy to sit back, be feminine, be submissive, and let him lead. Oh, and she gives me incredible head, lol. That's a nice bonus. We're almost 2 years in a relationship, and my business is going as strong as never before. It's perfect. Thanks so much. I attribute a lot of my awakening to you. And she wanted to give me a gift recently, so I told her to get me your book. So he sent a picture of it, and obviously it was the first book on the inside cover. I think it was this page here. She wrote a nice little note in red ink, and it said, "Thank you for being the man of my dreams," with a little red heart. Isn't that cool? So I assume they probably study the book together like a lot of couples do that read my work, which I think is great. Because eventually if you have kids, you're going to want your kids, your boys and your girls to understand this stuff so they can grow up into great men and women. And I have to go through all the things that you and I had to go through. So if you'd like to get my help personally, maybe you're having a challenge in your personal or your professional life, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.